Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, September 14th edition here of Trending Politics Live. As you guys know, my name is Clayton Kearns here, coming to you every single day at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and let's jump right into it. We have had a ton of news happen this weekend. I hope all of you had a very, very good, very safe weekend, and let's get started. As many of you guys know, some bad news over the weekend. Two cops in Los Angeles were ambushed. And this is just a screenshot of it. Now, I can't show the video because YouTube and Facebook will take down our video. For some reason, whenever it's violence, from cops to someone else, they're okay with showing that violence and making that go viral. But anytime there's violence against police, they like to shut us down and they like to take that off. And so just in order to continue to get the information out to you, I want to show you this picture here. Bill Melugan of Fox LA said, LASD and the families of the two ambush deputies have given me permission to show this graphic photo of the moment after they were shot. I'm told the female deputy was shot through the jaw, still radioed in for help, and applied the tourniquet to the male deputy's wounds. Both are stable now. Thank God that these two are okay. As I'm sure many of you guys saw the video, a disgusting human being just went right up to their squad car and just shot a few times into their car through the window. And yes, they both suffered wounds in the head. Her through the jaw. You can see her bloody shirt here. And this video here is video of her helping out the other deputy. Very, very sad situation. And we're just praying for these families. They did have surgery and they are going to be okay. Thank God for that. But, as we have been saying for a long time, is that the continued disgusting attack on our police officers, and you have people and liberals all over social media saying ACAB, ACAB, meaning they are saying all cops are bastards. That is what the left is commenting on Instagram, on Facebook, all over. And when you use that rhetoric, you are going to trigger a few far left radicals who are going to walk up to a squad car and shoot at our beloved police officers, these deputies here in Los Angeles, California. And it's a very, very sad situation. But as I keep saying, what did the Democrats expect to happen with their rhetoric against the police? What did they expect? What did they think was going to happen as they continued their war on police? When they continue to say, defund the police, when they continue to say, why are you shooting us in cold blood, as if there was no reason to act in these certain manners. They think, and LeBron James thinks, that cops just wake up on the wrong side of the bed every day and say, oh, you know what? Today's going to be the end for one of these black people. That's what LeBron James said in a press conference. Does he not know how difficult someone's life becomes? How difficult a cop's life becomes? White, black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. When you shoot someone in the line of duty and kill somebody, whether or not it was a good shoot or not, you are changed forever. Your reputation is changed forever. And with Black Lives Matter and Antifa now doxing police officers who commit these shoots, it's absolutely disgusting. Now, Joe Biden has responded to this. Now, well, first of all, I want to point you to just how disgusting the left is. Protesters showed up to the hospital, not in support of the police officers, in support of the shooters. There are disgusting videos going around on Twitter that I can't show here of BLM protesters saying, we are going to check on the two murderers in the hospital, calling these cops murderers when they were this close to the ones being murdered by far left activists. They go up and they show and protest and shout, we hope they die. This tweet here is from the LA County Sheriff's Twitter account. To the protesters blocking entrance and exits of the hospital emergency room, yelling, "We hope they die," referring to 2 LA sheriffs ambushed today in Compton. Do not block emergency entries and exits to the hospital. People's lives are at stake when ambulances can't get through. This here, people, is what is going to be voting for Joe Biden. People who are perfectly okay with showing up at a hospital to celebrate the shooting of 2 cops. This is what's going to be voting for Joe Biden in November, people. I ask you, who will you be voting for Joe Biden? Which side are you on? I know that everyone watching here is on the Trump train. I just want to ask that question because it's a disgusting thing that happened over the weekend. So it was bad enough that the left was celebrating, that many people on the left were celebrating this heinous crime. But then they go to the hospital and twist the knife and rub salt in the wound. One of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in my life. Now, of course, because Joe Biden doesn't want to lose in a 50-state landslide, his PR team had to assemble this tweet together. You know for damn sure he didn't write this tweet. But to be fair, let me just show you what he tweeted. "This cold-blooded shooting is unconscionable, and the perpetrator must be brought to justice. Violence of any kind is wrong, and those who commit it should be caught and punished. Jill and I are keeping the deputies and their loved ones in our hearts and pray for a full recovery." First of all, we know for damn sure that Joe Biden did not write this freaking tweet. We know he didn't write this tweet. It was one of his 22-year-old interns who wrote up this tweet, made sure it was good to tweet, and then sent it out. Second of all, you do not see a full-scale condemnation of any violence against our police officers. They don't say our police officers and our deputies are good and fine people and they should be be retaliated against. It's just, check out this middle part here of the tweet. Check out how broad that is. Violence of any kind is wrong. Yeah, so violence of the guy getting mugged down the street is wrong. No. This was a targeted attack on 2 deputies in Los Angeles, California. It was targeted, mainly fueled by rhetoric from Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the left, Democrat politicians, saying that all cops are bastards, saying that all cops are bad, saying that cops are murderers. And Joe Biden goes super broad with this. But he had to put out this statement, right? But then Joe Biden gets to what he really wanted to say the next day. Because, so actually this was, I believe this was this morning. I'm going to see the timestamp here. Yeah, it was later that day. So his condemnation against the police shooting was at 8 a.m. Pacific yesterday. And then once he let that tweet kind of simmer down and just kind of get his good PR out of the way, then at 5:20 Pacific Sunday night, this was Joe Biden's real reaction right here. "Weapons of war have no place in our communities. We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines." And as DC Drano correctly pointed out on Twitter, AR-15s are not weapons of war. But Joe Biden apparently doesn't know that. These are really good buzzwords for him to use to rile up his base, right? So this was Joe's real response to the police shooting in LA. It wasn't, guys, most police officers are good and kind people, and we need to celebrate the good ones. No. It was, you guys, violence is bad. Who disagrees with the fact that violence is bad? Now, I know that a lot of leftists and a lot of liberal politicians are calling for violence against Trump supporters and President Trump himself. But, of course, Joe Biden is not going to say violence is a good thing. Now, Joe Biden hasn't condemned violence in a huge way over the last few months. But this was Joe Biden's real message. Gun control. Gun control. Not let's protect the police. It's gun control. Now, what's the proper way to respond to something like this? It's what President Trump did. And some of you might not like the type of language that he used, but I don't care. He called the people who shot at the cops an animal. An animal, and that's exactly what this disgusting piece of scum who shot these cops is, an animal. Here's what President Trump had to say last night in Nevada.
And you saw a video of that animal that went up to the car. Did everybody see that? This animal goes up to the car. Two unsuspecting fine people. They were fine people. I mean, they're in very grave condition, as you know. Fine people. He's an animal. And I called him an animal. And I was criticized by people for calling him an animal. They said he's a human being. He's not a human being. He's an animal. He's not a human being. Joe Biden opposes the death penalty, even for cops who, I mean, look, you have to see, even for these cop killers who go around, the predators, they murder children.
So President Trump is spot on right there. This person who walked up to these police officers and shot them is absolutely scum of the earth and is an animal. And I don't care what anyone has to say about it. That's what these people are. And furthermore, the disgusting human beings who then followed up by celebrating the shooting of these cops and then celebrated them in the hospital and said, "We hope they die." That is who we are voting against on November 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you remember that every step of the way. So before I move on to my next topic, guys, make sure you're always going to trendingpolitics.com here. Every single day, we're updating those stories constantly. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe to this because we're doing this every single day, you guys. This next few weeks are going to just be crazy heading into the 2020 election, and I want you with me every single step of the way. If you're watching this on Facebook, smash that thumbs up button, smash the like button, and comment below so Facebook knows to keep showing us to keep showing our content to you. All right, so moving on to the next topic was week 1 of the NFL season, and 9/11 was on Friday, everyone. We had a very good show here on Trending Politics Live. It was 9/11. Apparently, NBA players and NFL players didn't seem to give a damn that it was the anniversary weekend of the worst terrorist attack in history. It was 9/11, and basically the NFL players decided to steal. Now, not all, I will be fair, not all of the players knelt for the national anthem, okay? Now, as many of you guys know, on week 1, they were going to play a black national anthem, the black national anthem, and then play the normal United States national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, afterwards. Well, the Baltimore Ravens, they decided to stand for the black national anthem and then kneel for the Star Spangled Banner. So here's them now watch the left side of the screen. They are all standing for the black national anthem. Okay. So that's from a verified Twitter user there. Now let's look at what was happening during the Star Spangled Banner. Out of about 55 players on the squad, I maybe saw about 10 people standing for the national anthem on the Ravens side. If you look on the other side of the screen in the replay here, you'll see that the opposing team, basically everyone was standing. However, the Baltimore Ravens chose not to honor the United States of America on Sunday, on the anniversary weekend of 9/11. What a stark contrast to what the weekend of football was after the actual 9/11 in 2001. So Tuesday was the terrorist attack. They in 2001. They canceled the football games that weekend, and then the next weekend they reopened all the football games again. And the amount of patriotism, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. The amount of patriotism that was showed after 9/11, you guys, you had everyone running out into the field with American flags. I mean, American flags in every single seat in the stadium. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. People standing for the national anthem, crying, cheering, standing united. You guys, I'm getting a little emotional here. I just remember it like it was yesterday, even though I was very young. And now, flash forward to 2020 on the weekend of 9/11. And we have millionaire football players kneeling and disrespecting the national anthem of the United States of America, not giving a damn. And to make matters worse, this goes to show that you can never be woke enough. You can never be SJW, social justice warrior, enough for the left. Because as the famous saying goes, in for a penny, in for a pound. The man himself, Colin Kaepernick, was not happy with the NFL, while the NFL runs propaganda about how they care about black life. They are still actively blackballing Eric Reed for fighting for the black community. So, let me get this straight. You had hundreds of NFL players kneeling for the national anthem. You had the black national anthem played before the games. You had on the banners and on the screens it says end racism. You have owners funding these causes for Black Lives Matter. You have slogans on the back of helmets, justice for Breonna Taylor and all this stuff. But Colin Kaepernick is still not happy. He still is not happy, which proves that none of this at all was about trying to spark change or trying to have a damn conversation. All it was about complaining. And guess what? Colin Kaepernick still calls it propaganda, and it's absolutely disgusting. Now, the only heartfelt moment to come from all this is Tyler Eifert of the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to honor David Dorn here on his helmet. He has an American flag up here, which is amazing. But right here, David Dorn, the black man, former police officer who was killed by Black Lives Matter activists, or by leftist militants, I should say. He was killed while trying to protect local stores, and the left didn't give a damn about David Dorn. Thank God there's at least one honorable football player in the National Football League. I know there are many others who actually care about the country, but most of them are absolutely disgusting. So let me know, everyone, if you are boycotting the NFL, and if you are boycotting the NFL. If you're watching it, if you're not, let me know what you think below. If you think that these people are absolutely disgusting for kneeling for the anthem, especially on 9/11 weekend, you guys. You know, we expected LeBron James and the NBA to kneel. I mean, honestly, I think it would be a little disingenuous for them to stand for the national anthem when they clearly don't respect our country anyways. So why would we respect LeBron James to stand on the weekend of 9/11 when they don't care about the national anthem at any other time? At that point, it'd just be pandering. But the NFL, man, to not stand for... Now, again, to be fair, there were some teams who decided to not come out for the national anthem. There were some teams who decided to stand for both anthems. But it's a mess, you guys. It is a cluster F of epic proportions in the NFL, in sports, with social justice, warrior activism, and honestly, I don't really know what to say about it. So let me know about what you think there in the comment section below. The next topic here of the day is that we could actually get a debate with President Trump, Joe Biden, hosted by none other than the most popular podcaster, one of the most influential voices in American media, Joe Rogan. He has the #1 podcast in the entire world. And last week, he had a guest on. And let me see. I don't know his name off the top, but I'll get to it in the tweet here. But the guest suggested that Joe Rogan should host a debate between President Trump and Joe Biden. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Check out this little exchange here.
You be the control mechanism to the candidates, like a Biden-Trump debate with Joe Rogan hosting. Your questions.
I would want that. First of all, I'd want no one else in the room.
Just the
three
people?
of us.
Cameras, so we can record the
yeah, just the three of us. And you would have to stream it live so no one can edit it.
No.
And I would want them in there for hours.
And ideas, we get to hear what they actually believe in, what they're going to do, who they're going to appoint, what judges are going to be coming in, what policies from gun control to all of it.
Yes.
Why can't we have that?
We should have that. This is 2020. I mean, we have the ability to have that. We're not talking about 1979. We're talking about 2020. If they wanted to do that, they both wanted to come here in Austin, sit down, and have a debate, I would 100% do it.
There we go. So now that spurred on that one gentleman whose name is, spoiler alert. I mean, I know you guys have already seen it, but Tim Kennedy said on my podcast with Joe Rogan, he offered to moderate a debate between Joe Biden and President Trump. It would be 4 hours with no live audience, just the two candidates, cameras, and their vision of how to move this country forward. And then he asks the question, who wants this? And Donald J. Trump responds, I do. I do. Now the ball is in Joe Biden's court. 3 debates have already been scheduled between Joe Biden and President Trump, but this is now the first we've seen of a potential 4th one. Now, I don't think at all that Joe Biden is going to do this whatsoever, because he knows that he cannot control this debate. Joe Biden would know that Joe Rogan would ask him very tough questions. Joe Rogan has already gone on record and said that Joe Biden is mentally compromised, that he's not all there. And while Joe Rogan is not the biggest fan of President Trump, Joe Biden would have to answer some tough questions. And being in a room for 4 hours, you guys, I don't even know if Joe Biden can stay awake for 4 hours right now without taking a nap, let alone being in a very tough debate, a tough room with a tough debate moderator in Joe Rogan. President Trump is all for it. We all know, everybody, that he is high energy, that he would do this any day of the week. And Twitter absolutely exploded when Trump tweeted this out, you guys. Everyone is saying, do it, Joe. What do you have to hide? So comment below yes or no if you want to see this debate. Do you want to see Joe Rogan moderating a debate between President Trump and Joe Biden? If you do, give me a huge yes in the comments below. I want to see all of your guys' comments. I think it would be absolutely amazing. As I said before, Joe Rogan is not Democrat or Republican. He's pretty fair with a lot of things that he talks about and in the different ideas that he has and the different everything. And so honestly, you guys, I think that it would be really cool to see, but I give this less than a 1% chance of actually happening because Joe Biden has nothing really to gain and he has a lot to lose from doing this debate. So I don't see this happening whatsoever. The risk reward factor is just not there. If he does great, awesome. He maybe gains a little bit. But Joe Rogan would press him so hard on his hypocrisy over being in Congress, in Washington for 50 years and nothing really getting done. And Joe Biden would really not have any good answers to any of it. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. If you would like to see this, yes or no. I'm seeing a ton of yeses. So that's awesome to see, you guys. Okay, so the final topic of the day here is Bill Maher. So as you guys know, the Democrats are finally, because their poll numbers are sinking, okay, so do not be confused. The only reason, if you ever see a Democrat calling out violence by rioters, by looters, the only reason you're going to see that is because they have now seen the effects on their poll numbers. That's the only reason that Democrats, first of all, they're not really coming out against violence in a big way, but if you ever do hear them come out against violence, it's only because their poll numbers are sinking, ladies and gentlemen. So, on that note, Bill Maher was interviewing a former CNN journalist on Friday night, and even Bill Maher, it said, you guys are going to reelect Trump. You guys aren't talking about violence. You're going to reelect Trump with this. And Bill Maher did a great job of saying, this is not part of protesting. This is getting out of hand. And you've had many on the left justifying property damage because they're saying, well, we're against killing, but property can always be restored. So This is a segment here from Fox News, courtesy of Air.tv. Check out their coverage of this subject here and listen to what Bill Maher has to say.
My street. Bill Maher, by the way, understands this is a real point of vulnerability for Democrats, their unwillingness to call out looters and the destruction of property. Here's Bill Maher last night on Real Time.
I'm not down with this properties on the table as something we can just take because things are not right.
Well, where is this mass destruction of property happening right now? Like, if you look at...
You watch the news?
If you look at Portland, it's 2 square blocks.
There is a view, and it's in the media. Please, I know you've seen it. Don't look at me like I'm making this up. That somehow this is a justifiable approach.
Well, isn't pain part of protest? I mean, isn't that what the...
So you're part of this. You believe it. I saw this guy who had a Papa John's franchise, and he was yelling through his broken glass, "You're going to elect Trump, and I'm just trying to feed my family." I don't think his view was just like, "C'est la vie, it's just property."
Here he is again, making a lot of sense. And I would love to see his hate mail inbox, because he's got to be taking so much heat from folks on the left, from people who have endorsed, supported, or at best refused to argue against this horrific looting, because he's not blind. Bill Maher's looking at this and saying, you can't endorse or keep your mouth shut on massive destruction of property in these cities, massive violence and looting, and somehow expect people to feel confident about your ability to lead right now and elect you president. So he's trying to, you got to give him credit, guys. He's trying to sound the alarm on this and try to get these Democratic politicians to redirect their message. And they're just brain dead on it. They're not budging at all. They're so committed to their narrative. It's really quite something to behold.
This is almost all on our education system. This is what these young people are being taught in New York City schools and schools across the country, that America's a racist country, and if they buy into it, they're part of the racist system. That's how you get these kids.
What we have to consider, Pete, is this might not be ignorance, but it might be understanding the ideology that you are advocating for. Marxism inherently has a hatred of property. This is not a mistake. This is part of the ideology they are advocating for.
So 100% spot on there, you guys. So Bill Maher is, to his credit, every once in a while, I mean, he says something that makes sense, and he tends to see things with a little more common sense than what a lot of left-wing journalists do. And it's refreshing to see at times, but the election is coming. The Trump train is coming. November 3rd is coming, and it's approaching very, very rapidly. And the Democrats are just barely starting to call out these riots. And you know what? It's a little bit too late, ladies and gentlemen. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Everybody, we had a really good first show here. I'm glad to have you guys all on. Make sure you're always going to trendingpolitics.com. We're always updating that site. And you guys, make sure to go to ilovemyfreedom.com. We got a lot of great gear here. Here's a little examples of some of our t-shirts that we have for sale. Go to ilovemyfreedom.com. We've got a lot of great shirts. We've got pro-police face masks. We've got American flag face masks. We got flags, jerseys, hats, shirts, collector's coins, all kinds of amazing things, guys, fulfilled by American citizens in our fulfillment center in Kansas, everybody. So I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on with me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. We've got a big week ahead of us, guys, so I can't wait to talk with you guys more. And I will be talking with you guys all very, very soon. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.